everybody, and thank you for coming to the beautiful Hyatt Regency. It's such a gorgeous day, and they've put together such an awesome place for us to celebrate Surfboards on Parade. I would like to thank them for hosting this morning's event, and I would like to also thank the Rotary Club of Huntington Beach for being the founder of Surfboards on Parade. Thanks to Shirley Orlando and the beautiful music, the ukuleles, that greeted us today. The Southern California Woody Club for bringing their beautiful rides. And I know we're going to introduce him later, but I want to say thank you to Tim, our shaper. It's a very soulful shaper, and he was very instrumental in bringing the project along. So this morning, it's my wonderful pleasure to introduce to you Peter Townend, or as the rest of the world knows him, PT, or the mate. But I have something to say about you, just real quickly. PT hails from Coolangatta, Queensland, where he began surfing in 1967. Just a few short years after that, he was crowned, 1976, he won the first World Surfing Championship title in the world. So think about that, the very first world champion, right here. PT is known as one of the best surfers of his time. He's had an illustrious career with many awards and a rich legacy. Locally here in Huntington Beach, he has been inducted into the Surfing Walk of Fame and the Surfing Hall of Fame. Last year was a celebratory year for him. He was honored at the SEMA, Surfing Industry Manufacturers Association's Waterman's Ball, where he was given a Lifetime Achievement Award. And that's really like the Academy Awards of surfing. For his contributions to surfing. He's been on so many things. We can't begin to talk about it today, but we want to thank him today for sharing his rich wisdom and collaborating on this project to make it possible. Thank you, PT.
Thank you, Jody. Well, what a beautiful morning. Isn't this why we live in Huntington Beach, right? We live in Huntington Beach in Surf City because it's like this. It's been like this every day. And it's one of the great places in the world for me. As Jody said, I came from Coolangatta a long time ago. Been in Huntington Beach for over 35 years now. Really proud to have raised 3 kids here. All went through the high school. Actually, my daughter was homecoming queen and doesn't get any more homecoming than being HB homecoming queen. Let me tell you, one of my proudest moments walking out on the football field with my daughter. But we're here today for the 3rd unveiling of Surfboards on Parade, a great thing put together by the Rotary Club. You know, Dana Point can have their elephants on parade, and in my hometown, I was just there, they had koalas on parade, and in Sydney they had rhinoceroses on parade, but in Surf City we have surfboards on parade, right? And with that said, I want to introduce the president of the Rotary Club, Janie Wawicki.
Thank you, PT. Good morning, everyone. Is this a gorgeous day or what? The Rotary Club of Huntington Beach is so excited to be a part of this event. You know, to give you a chance or an idea of how it started, Mary Bailey, raise your hand. Everyone look at Mary. So she and her husband went to Chicago and saw cows on parade, and they came back and said, hey, we ought to do something like that. We're in Surf City. So that's how Surfboards on Parade got started 2.5 years ago. So thank you to the Baileys for their idea and everyone who's involved today in making this such a huge success. First, I would like to thank our hosts today from the Hyatt Regency. So first, I'd like to introduce Paul Devitt, who's the general manager. Paul, can you wave? Thank you, Paul. Kay Cochran, who's the director of marketing and sales. Thank you, Kay. We have Nancy Montefry, who's the director of catering and convention services. Nancy in the back. And then for this, I'd ask you to hold your applause until the end, because I'd like to introduce all of our special guests who are here today. So in no particular order, the Honorable Mayor Matt Harper from the City of Huntington Beach, Fred Wilson, the City Manager, Ed Pinchiff, Huntington Beach Planning Commissioner, Jen McGrath, Huntington Beach City Attorney, Sherry Friedenrich, our Orange County Treasurer and Rotarian, Kelly Miller, who's the president and CEO of Visit Huntington Beach. Don McAllister, former mayor of Huntington Beach. Jerry Wheeler, CEO and president of the Huntington Beach Chamber of Commerce. And Patrick Brendan, chairman-elect of the Huntington Beach Chamber of Commerce. And Councilmember Joe Carcio. Also present today with us are sponsors, which include the Hyatt Regency, the Waterfront Beach Resort at Hilton Hotel, the Shorebreak Hotel, the Heck Family Foundation, the City of Huntington Beach, Duke's Restaurant, the Surfing Heritage and Cultural Center, the City of Newport Beach, Concordia University at Irvine, Pedigo Electric Bikes, Rainbow Environmental Services, HB Digital, Visit Huntington Beach, the Office of Scott Smith, U.S. Blanks, iHouse Real Estate, Woody's Diner, Chuck Dent Surfboards, and Hogue Medical Group. Let's give them all a big hand. And now I would like to ask Paul Devitt to come forward to say a few words on behalf of the Hyatt. Surf City, welcome.
Well, good morning. Thank you for being here today. Like everybody said, what a beautiful day, what a great view we have today. Welcome to the Hyatt Regency Huntington Beach Resort and Spa. Andy Warhol said, everybody will be world famous for 15 minutes. I can tell you Surfboards on Parade is going to be famous for a lot more than 15 minutes. So I'd like to thank some of our partners for helping us eradicate skin cancer, supporting the arts, and supporting our community. Thank you to Hogue, the Rotary Club of Huntington Beach, and the Huntington Beach Arts Center. I'd also like to thank our hospitality partners, the Waterfront Hilton and the Shorebreak Hotel. Thanks for being here today, and thank you for supporting Surfboards on Parade.
And now I would like to welcome Mayor Matt Harper.
What you've been able to put together here today is outstanding. What better way to be able to celebrate the heritage of surfing in the city of Huntington Beach, as well as all the surfers and our surf history. This is just a really great way to be able to celebrate our city, our community, and our legacies. So thank you very much, and thank you all for being here to celebrate Surfboards on Parade.
Thank you, Matt. And now it's my pleasure to bring Don McAllister, former city council and mayor of the city of Huntington Beach.
Good morning, everyone. There's a committee of a handful of people who are helping to put on the 100 Years of Surfing. There are many events and things going on, this being one of them, but this one that's outstanding and fantastic going on because of the Rotary Club and Jody McKay down here. You're doing a great job. But let me introduce you to the 100-year surfing team. Consists of Brett Barnes, PT, Peter Townend, Steve Bone, Kelly Miller, Madison Fisher, Celeste Hamill, and yours truly, Don McAllister. We have over 30 events planned this year, and we have a brand new calendar out today that's in back that you can all get a copy of to see what's going on. But let me mention just a couple of ones that are going to be really exciting. Our first one coming off on Saturday, June 21st is what we call a Triple Crown. It's going to be the rededication of the cement pier, 100 years. Also, a wood board contest going out, no wetsuits. And then in between there, we're going to have a large board over 40 feet, and we're going to do our best to break the world's record of 47 people and get 60 people on it. We have the Guinness people here today. Australia currently holds it, and I won't hold that against you, PT, but we're going to take it away. And then another big event is coming up on July 28th, which will be during the U.S. Open on Monday. There's going to be a golf tournament, at Seacliff that will have golfing pros and surf pros playing in that. It's going to be an exciting day, and I'm sure all of you want to go to this event. And of course, don't forget our sister city, Manly, Australia. They're also called Surf City, Australia, and they'll be here with us during the 4th of July and the U.S. Open. It's an exciting year for all of us. Get the calendar out back, and we'll have our website up and running in the next few weeks, 100 Years of Surfing, HB.com. So there you can follow us, see all the events and things going on. So thank you, and thank you again to the Rotary for doing such a fantastic job with Surfboards on Parade.
Thank you, Don. And now it's my pleasure to introduce one of our beneficiaries, Dr. Larry Eisenberg, who is the Medical Director and Executive Director of Hoag Family Cancer Institute, to share with us a little bit about what they're going to do with the proceeds from the event.
So I'm very pleased to be here. I was here for the last unveiling, which was huge. It was a huge board. I remember that. I don't want to dwell too much on the weather because it's really nice, but I come from New Hampshire. I've been here for about 2.5 months. I was at Dartmouth, and I thought it was amusing a couple of weeks ago when there was a general panic when it rained. So I really got a big kick out of that. So let me just tell you what some of the plans are and how grateful we are for your participation, the Rotary Club and Surfboards on Parade. At the Hoag Family Cancer Institute, we're partnering up with USC to develop a very comprehensive melanoma program. It was rather interesting for me when I first got here to note that although melanoma in Orange County has one of the highest incidents in the world, outside of Australia and New Zealand.
We're number one.
Yeah, number one, Australia. We don't really have an organized, comprehensive program. So first order of business is to develop that at Hoag. Provide that as a community project. We will be leveraging the science from USC so we can bring in some new treatments, hopefully new therapeutics, starting a genomics program there. We'll also have a comprehensive clinical program for patients who have melanoma. We're going to enhance our medical genetics so we can define high-risk patients. Melanoma has a tendency for inheritance. There are certain genes that are associated with that, and we're going to be able to look at them, measure them, and use that as a tool for the patients. So and notably, it took me about 4 months to get my California medical license, but I finally have it. So I am a surgical oncologist. I will be helping to develop the clinical programs and seeing patients at Hoag. And hopefully we can keep you all informed about what that means. But it's events like this that are going to allow us really to develop these outstanding clinical programs of excellence, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Eisenberg. And now I'd like to welcome Kate Hoffman, who's the Executive Director of the Huntington Beach Arts Center, our second beneficiary.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. What a pleasure it is to be here again today to welcome all of you to this fabulous event. For me this morning has so much to do with the art that's coming to play in this next surfboard. If only Andy were here today, I'm sure we'd all get this amazing giggle about how Andy Warhol meets the wave in Huntington Beach. What a treat that is. But Meg Bernardo and I this morning talked about what this really means. It's about process. It's about the surfing process that gets deep, deep, deep creativity flowing in an athlete. It's also the artistic process, the very same deep creative engagement. Our artists at the Art Center, our children, our adults are so grateful to you for supporting this event. The beneficiaries today are truly the children and the students of the Art Center and what this will mean to them in next year's programs. Our exhibitions also reflect the heart and soul of surfing this summer, and we're grateful so much for Surfboards on Parade and the Rotary for making this possible. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kate. And now I would like to introduce Wendy Rogers, who's a past president and the member of the board of directors of the Rotary Club of Huntington Beach.
All right, I'm mobile. All right, first off, we're going to start with some fun right now. Okay, PT? I need a show of hands. Who has been here to all 3 unveilings, please? Just come on. Oh, wonderful. I love that. Okay, so I've got a prize, but I need to narrow it down. Who has a birthday closest to today that has been to all 3? Sorry, Kate. Happy birthday, Kate Hoffman, by the way. Okay, I've still got, wait. Yes, okay, I have 1 point. You're being thrown under the bus. I've got another hand. Okay, last. Who drove, of those 3, who drove the farthest to get here today? No, you weren't from the first 3. Oh, no. Okay, where did you drive from? I'm intrigued. San Clemente? I think I have to stick with the rules. If it was New Hampshire, maybe. Okay, I've only got 3 minutes. I need to move quickly. So of you 3, is anybody wearing pink? 1, no pink, no pink? Oh my gosh, I'm running out of ideas. I've only got 1 bag of pink chocolates. Oh. So I can't give it to one of our own. I probably can't give it to a sponsor. So to the lady in the back, you were one of the 3. These chocolates are yours. Yes, ma'am. Sorry you have to come get them. Thank you for being at all 3. We hope we're going to see you next week.
Trying to avoid chocolate.
Oh my goodness, I'm sorry.
Next time you see me, I'll be.
But they're pink. All right, so I have to move quickly here. So I have a few items that I need to address. One, what is Rotary? Rotary of Huntington Beach specifically. We are building a water well in Myanmar for those with no potable water. Hello. Hey, there we are. To prevent disease and premature mortality, we are holding a food drive to help fill the local food banks that feed the homeless or underserved. We are buying computers for a local computer lab. We are funding heart surgeries for children in Mexico that would otherwise have no way of escaping their hastened destiny with death. And there you go. Really? We are taking the funds from an awesome, unprecedented, groundbreaking, citywide fundraiser with surfboard art to honor the loss of a former member's disabled son by remodeling a local park to make it not only handicap disabled, but with all surf-themed play equipment. And I haven't even gotten started talking about all the parties that we have. That's a little glimpse of Rotary, Huntington Beach Rotary. And speaking of parties, I need to let you know that May 1st, we are having a very big party, PT. I expect you're going to be there.
I'll be there.
All right. We're going to have a very big party. It's the kickoff reception. We are going to announce to all of Surf City and the world that all 25 boards are out, they're installed, and they're ready to be experienced. We definitely hope you'll join us. It's $25 a ticket. There's limited space. I have one right there. You can purchase those at the back along with the t-shirts, the lovely camp shirts. I'm doing my best job to Vanna model it. And we hope that you will check out that back table, come to our event, and thank you for supporting Surfboards on Parade.
Thank you. And now we get to, well, we're here to get to an unveiling, but before we do that, I've got to bring up a peer of mine. You heard that I was the first world professional surfing champion in 1976, but they didn't declare a women's world champ that year. And if they had have, this next guest that's coming up would have been the world champ. So I'd like to bring up a peer of mine, Jericho Poplar.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, everybody. Welcome, and I'm really having a nice thing here. I've got this beautiful necklace from Hawaii. Anyway, it's great to be here, and I've been surfing here for over 5 decades. And the change that has happened to the city has been, none of us would ever believe it. It was just a pier and a Jack's surf shop, which was, getting fish hooks and fish bait. And then there's some wild people surfing, and we're going back to the late 50s, 60s, 70s, and on up. So being a woman riding these waves was really thrilling, and the guys, they accepted the few women that were surfing out here, and it was treacherous, as it is today still. So my viewpoint of Huntington Beach is from out in the water, looking at you on the beach. Anyway, I have lots of admiration for Brett and PT and Dawn and all of you for putting together this 100 years of history. And I'm glad you're including some women in the history, which probably goes back maybe 60 or 70 years at the beginning of the U.S. Champs, also in 1959 with Jack Haley and Linda Benson, the woman winning the event. And I won the U.S. Champs here in 1970, and big waves going through the pier, ABC Wide World of Sports. And at that time, there were just bleachers and a few grandstands. And look at what it has become today. Just amazing, because of a lot of hard people out there working, and to make surfing a real sport, not just a subculture. At the turn of the century now, we have a viable sport, and you're celebrating it here today. And with the hospital people here on melanoma, I'm a 26-year survivor of stage 4 melanoma. And I don't look back on that, but I'm proud to be here today for my kids and for the environment and for the city of Huntington Beach that I've served here all my life. And if anybody has any questions about women in surfing, you can talk to me. Okay, that's all.
Okay, let's get to the unveiling of our third collaboration. As you know, it's Andy Warhol and Tim Bissell. And Tim will probably elaborate a little bit more on Andy Warhol, but of course he's not here today, but he did make a surf film. Back in the 60s, Andy Warhol made a surf film, and of course, I'm from that era, so I thought we might actually have the Velvet Underground playing really loud this morning when I got here, but Lou Reed's not with us either, so I guess we're not going to have that. But Andy Warhol, as you all know, back in, a lot of us are of that age range, we all thought he was crazy, painting, boxes and stuff and everybody, but he created the genre of pop culture art, and it opened the doors for many young artists today. And if only, Tim, we had a thought about buying a couple of those paintings back in the 60s, we'd be retired, right? Because now you can't get them for less than $1 million. And so Tim worked out with the Andy Warhol Foundation to do a line of surfboards that has been very successful, and we thought that was a great partnership for Surfboards on Parade. Tim, of course, I've known for, must be nearly going on 4 decades. The first place I ever landed in America was in La Jolla, which is where he's from, and I first landed there in '72. And he's been an outstanding shaper for a long, long time. There's friends of mine who swear by his boards, and it's my great honor to bring Tim Bissell up to the podium and tell us about how this all came about.
I've known PT since the early 70s, and he's always been an inspiration for me. And this board today will, shortly you'll see why. I started making surfboards in 1970, but I started surfing in 1967. I was about the age of 10. Yep. And Andy Warhol came to our town, La Jolla, to make this movie, San Diego Surf, which was released in 2011. And that's when I approached the Warhol Foundation. I have a couple interesting stories about Andy Warhol. My good friend and mentor, Carl Ekstrom, was and still is one of the best surfboard manufacturers in the world. And in the early 80s, I was invited to go to New York with some friends. And I was telling Carl that I was going to New York, and he said, well, if you happen to run into Andy Warhol, tell him I said hi. And I'm going, okay, like, that's going to happen. But I was studying art at San Diego State University, and I had been making surfboards for over a decade by then. And I got invited to the opening of the Playboy Club because the person I was staying with, his brother was running the publicity and marketing for the event. And basically I walked in with my two friends, and there's Andy Warhol standing with four beautiful tall models, and they're going, this is your time, Tim, you know. And I was really shy, I didn't want to do it. So on a dare, they go, look, you know, this is it. We're daring you to do it. So I walked up to Andy Warhol, and I introduced myself, and I said, Andy, we have a mutual friend, Carl Ekstrom. And then Andy became very friendly, and because Carl had made him two surfboards for his movie, and he loved surfers and surfing and the lifestyle, and he said that when he was in La Jolla in 1967 that it was the most beautiful place that he had ever been. So we had an instant connection, and he was my hero because I was studying art at San Diego State University. So it was a lifelong dream to meet him. And then many years later, back in 2011, I had approached the Warhol Foundation to make their surfboards because I'd seen that Alien Workshop was doing their skateboards. And I just cold called them. I just, said, why not? And they vetted me, and they liked what I was doing. And so it's been a wonderful opportunity. We've been making them since 2012. We've produced over 100 surfboards to date. The wonderful thing about the Warhol Foundation is that all the money that I pay in royalties goes to art foundations, and they've raised over $300 million. And it's just a wonderful opportunity for me to be here in Huntington Beach with PT and Jericho and all of you. And I just want to say thank you for inviting me to be a part of this great organization, Surfboards on Parade. And anything I can do to help in the future, I'm more than happy to. So here we go.
Do a toast first.
And I guess we're supposed to toast. That's what this is for, right? A little alcohol early in the morning for brunch, right? On a weekday. We're all playing hooky.
Cheers. Cheers. So PK, how's the color? When Peter,
Looks like it was built for me. I guess I'm supposed to go across the street and ride it.
well, in the early 70s, pink was a hot color, and PT made it very popular, and I still have visions in my mind of PT on his pink surfboard, and it's very befitting today that we've got this pink Marilyn Monroe, who, by the way, used to surf Malibu. I don't know if you all know that, but she was a surfer. And, of course, she's spectacular. And pink's in.
Surf City, USA,
Everybody has been so gracious. It's been such an honor.
I didn't know. Something I learned today. Marilyn Monroe is a surfer. And what a beautiful board it is.
Well, I think we're only just scratching the surface of how wonderful this thing can be, and especially, to benefit skin cancer research for Hoag Hospital.
Surprising how often we all tie together into one world. As they say, the ocean makes us all just 3 seconds away from each other.